Oh, another thing that bothers me. What's up YouTube, Jerryland here with NovaTech. Today you're getting my review of the iPhone X, what I think about it, what I like, what I don't like, and some recommendations I have to help you out. Let's talk about the things I like first. I love that we finally have a new design to the iPhone after quite a few years. This new iPhone sits between the iPhone 8 and the 8 Plus in size, and I absolutely love that. It's way closer to the size of the iPhone 8, so it's nice and small, very easy to hold in your hand. However, what's awesome is that the screen real estate you get is actually larger than the screen on the iPhone 8 Plus. So that overall new body design, gotta love that. Some people think it looks weird and can't really get used to how the cameras are now vertical instead of looking like this, but I don't really think that's that big a deal. I honestly, personally think that iPhones take the best smartphone photos, but now both lenses are optically stabilized, so you'll get some nice crisp shots and some super smooth footage. Love that. So you got a wide angle lens and a zoom lens, so camera quality, amazing. And I absolutely love that this camera shoots in 4K 60, which is that's everything I could ever ask for from those Sony cameras, which currently aren't offering in the A7S II, R2, or even the R3, which is part of the reason why I actually hopped over to Canon, if you didn't already know that. Video comes soon, subscribe below. Now on the topic of 4K video, I highly recommend you just pay that extra, get the 256GB version, because I think that is way more worth it than that 64GB version. So save up, shell out that extra cash, get the 256 version. You'll thank me later. Next up with design, I love the look of that stainless steel band that goes all the way around. I love the new glass back. Even though it puts my phone more at risk, I always have a phone case on it, so it doesn't really matter that much to me. If you want to know what phone case I got on my iPhone X, be sure to stick around to the end of the video. Now, of course, some people might prefer the old iPhone back since it was more protective, but I love the new glass back because that means we got wireless charging, which I'm super excited to try to utilize. Now with that, quick charging you won't really get with what comes inside the box, so you're gonna have to buy some accessories. I'll drop a link below to some stuff that you'll need to pick up in order to utilize quick charge on the iPhone, but I can't tell you how much I love quick charge from using it on my Galaxy S8, so I do highly recommend that you go pick that stuff up and utilize quick charge. Now next up, the screen. You'll notice first of all that there's no home button anymore, which I actually personally am okay with. So now instead of the home button to unlock your phone, you just swipe up. And of course now we got Face ID, which we'll talk about in a second. So no more Touch ID with that home button, but Face ID is actually supposed to be a lot more secure, 1 in a million kind of secure. And there's been plenty of tests out there that people have done by holding up pictures of their faces, by trying to do twin tests, by trying to wear wigs and masks and whatnot. And you know, so far it seems like Face ID is working pretty well. So just a few gestures to get you started. If you swipe up, that just helps unlock your phone to your home screen. If you swipe up and hold for a sec, it'll open up all your apps that are currently open. And a pro tip I learned from MKBHD actually, if you swipe up and to the right automatically, instead of having to wait and hold it as you swipe up to get to all those open apps, it'll open automatically. So that's pretty cool. Now if you swipe from the top left down, you'll get to your notifications. And if you swipe from the right down, you'll get to all your control center stuff. So just a few quick gestures, and of course there's other things you can still configure and play with and tune to your own settings, so definitely play around with the new iPhone X. Overall, just as a review, I've gotten really used to not having a home button, and it really just took a couple hours of playing with it to get used to it. So now you might be wondering also, how do you take a screenshot? Well, you just hit your power button and your volume rocker, and then that'll get you a screenshot too. Now the overall actual display is iPhone's first OLED display, and I gotta say, it looks really, really good, but I can't really tell that big a difference from my Galaxy S8, which already had an amazing screen. So can I say that this is the best smartphone screen out there? I don't know. But can I say that this is the best iPhone screen they've made so far? Heck yeah. All right, so that top notch. People need to stop talking about it because it's really not that big a deal. It's just a notch at the top of your screen that has your front-facing camera, all the sensors, your speaker, whatever. And for me, I actually thought about it not as the notch intruding, but as you getting a little bit of extra space on the top left and top right of your screen, thanks to Apple adding in that extra little area. So rather than thinking of it as one continuous screen that's interrupted by that top notch, I think of it as one continuous screen that got a little bit of extra space on the top left and top right for your time and your battery info. So I think that's pretty cool. So for me, I don't think the top notch is that big a deal enough for people to be complaining like crazy about it. You still got this big, beautiful screen, and if you want to use up the whole screen and still have that notch in your way when you're watching videos, yeah, you can do that. Or if you hate that notch interrupting your videos, all you gotta do is double tap on some apps when you're watching videos and it'll just recrop it so that the notch isn't in your way anymore. So really, the top notch, not that big a deal. So I've talked a little bit about the aesthetics and in general some of the functionalities of it, but what specifically has been useful about using the iPhone X? Media consumption, number one, love it on this screen. Number two, that camera quality is just, oh man, it takes some crispy photos, and shooting 4K 60 on here is so fun. Pairing this with an awesome phone gimbal, which I'll have to show off soon and show you guys how I rig it up to shoot some crispy 4K video. And in general, just the reachability and handling on this phone is something I love so much. I really, really like the size of this phone because I've always wanted to switch to the iPhone 6, 7, or 8 because I've always been using the plus size phones, and now I have a phone that's about the size of those smaller models, but I still have that large screen, so the iPhone X has been like a perfect package for myself at least. Other little quirks about it are cool as well, of course, such as animojis or being able to do all that augmented reality stuff, because I actually do some of that stuff with my students. Shout out to the Proy School. Now, I've talked about a lot of the things that I love, but what about the things that I'm not really liking about this phone? Number one, I'm personally super annoyed that Apple hasn't released their giant charging pad, that wireless charging plate, basically, for this yet, and the AirPods and the Apple Watch, because I've been holding out on buying a wireless charger until I get that one. But as of now, I actually picked up a super sweet one from IKEA, and it's actually one that you can drill into a desk, into a cabinet, into a dresser, into a nightstand, whatever, and create your own wireless charging furniture. And it's something that I might take on as a little project. So I do have a wireless charging pad, which is why my iPhone case that I'm using, as well as a few other ones that I've been trying out, which I actually posted a video about it. Go check that out. All the cases that I'm currently trying or using for my iPhone X all work with wireless charging, even with the case on. So if you're looking for a case like that, definitely check out that video. But yeah, so I've definitely tested wireless charging and I can't wait to use it full time. But I really want that wireless charging pad that Apple's hopefully gonna release super soon, because I think it'd be awesome to be able to charge all my devices on that. My Apple Watch, my AirPods, and my phone. So, Apple, hurry up. All right, so one of the things that I don't like that much, I know that wireless charging is awesome, but I wish that you could get wireless quick charging. Now that would make things even better, but sadly, that's not what we got. Next thing that's really triggering me is that Face ID is being very frustrating. I know it's working great for a lot of people, but for me, I've actually reset Face ID I want to say 7 times now, trying to just make it work better in good lighting, mind you, and it's just driving me crazy. So when I have my glasses on in good lighting, it works great, but when I wake up in the morning, it's still dark in my room and I want to unlock my phone, Face ID doesn't freaking work, and it's super frustrating. So Face ID really hasn't been working well for me, and it's stupid that when I don't have my glasses on, Face ID doesn't recognize me. However, yes, I know I can reset it, not wear my glasses and use it, but then I've tried that too, and sometimes when I have my glasses on, then it doesn't work. So personally, I'm kind of waiting for them to really just push out an update for Face ID, make it that much better. Hopefully it'll work for me, and I'm not talking sunglasses either, I'm just talking regular eyeglasses. So, as someone who wears glasses, I'm able to tell you, Face ID currently is not that great. Next up, this isn't a huge deal anymore because we're already used to it, from the 7 to the 8, now to the iPhone X. I miss the headphone jack, guys. Sometimes it really just comes in useful, comes in handy when you're on a long road trip, whatnot. Sometimes you just prefer plugging in an aux cord, and I don't have that option unless I have a dongle on me, which I know they include, which is nice, mind you, so that comes in the box, but it's also just kind of annoying. So, of course, wish there was a headphone jack. It's the little things, guys. Another thing that bothers me is the fact that we're still on the lightning port, and yes, my iPad Pro is also a lightning cable, so sure, it's nice that I can just use the same cable, but my MacBook Pro is USB-C, and the whole world is of course moving towards USB-C, so I just wish that for the iPhone X, this 10-year anniversary phone, the one with all this new redesign, I wish it had a USB-C port. That would have just been the icing, the cherry on top. I'll gladly keep the notch, I'll gladly get rid of the headphone jack, gladly get rid of the home button. I wish this had USB-C. So, Apple, hopefully the next phone you make will have USB-C. And also, on that side note, hopefully your next iPad also will have USB-C. One of my final negatives about this phone is kind of similar to when the iPhone 6 Plus first came out, the larger version of this phone, because app developers had been so used to a smaller iPhone screen that they weren't ready for that larger screen, and that took a while for a bunch of apps to update and fill up that screen real estate, which is kind of what's going on right now. I'm getting pretty annoyed of all my old apps that I really like and use a lot that don't utilize the full iPhone X screen, and I know that's gonna take a little while for app developers to push out and develop, so that's just something that's kind of annoying right now, but not that big a deal. Battery life, of course, isn't perfect, but it is actually really good. It's the end of the day, it's pretty late, I used my phone super heavy today, and I got about 17% left. So it's definitely not perfect, and it can't last you with crazy heavy usage. You're gonna need a battery pack, but I think battery life is still good enough for me, and from what I've heard, it's actually better than even the 8 Plus. So definitely pretty happy with battery life. Sound quality, I was coming from using the Galaxy S8, which just has that one bottom speaker. That thing sucked with sound quality and just in general loudness. So I love having the speakers, using the speakers on the iPhone 10. Love it. So as you can see, I told you some pros, I told you some cons. My cons really weren't that big a deal. There weren't that many. And I definitely have to say that overall, I freaking love the iPhone 10. And yes, I still prefer iPhone X. Now I want to finish this video off by saying, holy crap, these things are made of all glass now, and some stainless steel of course, but you need to protect your phone. So yes, I have personally found some phone cases that I love. I don't need y'all to be saying that I'm biased or whatever. Personally, after all the ones that I've tried, I just honestly love this company and the cases that they make. And of course, just like with that case video that I just dropped, which you need to go check out, I also briefly talked about 2 other case companies that I really liked, so please don't say that I'm being biased. But personally, I gotta recommend Kadabi cases. I really like them. So I'll show you a few that I'm currently rotating through, and I'll drop a link below to the full video showing you what cases that I personally like for the iPhone 10, and all the cases that I show work with wireless charging, so don't even worry about that. Now this was my quick personal opinion, my review of the iPhone 10. If you guys are interested in any of the things that I talked about or any of the products that I showcased in this video, of course I'll drop links below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can find out when my next video drops, which as most of you true Nopatech fans out there see, I've been dropping videos like crazy in the past couple weeks. So join the family. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Jerry Land with Nopatech, and to the next one and beyond.